Hey everybody, it's Raikou here, and I'm going to be talking to you today about Pokemon types and disadvantages and advantages to different Pokemon. Alright, let's get started. Alright, first, we're going to start with normal types. Now, normal types, they're extremely not affected by ghosts, and they really can't be affected by any ghost type moves either. They're really weak against rock and steel, mostly steel. I've had problems with that. Mostly against Whitney's gym, I had to use a steel type. I had to figure out how to evolve a Steelix, which really didn't turn out too well, especially since it didn't listen to me. So, if you're going to use normal types, you should probably have a really powerful normal type, such as Regigigas or Snorlax, who do have really good defense and can do good against other Pokemon. Alright, let's go on to fire types. So fire types, you already know they're extremely strong against grass. They're also strong against ice, bug, and steel. An example of a fire type Pokemon would be Magmar or a Charizard, Pokemon like that. Basic fire types that you start with. What they're really weak against is water, of course, rock, ground, and flying. Flying types can be extremely powerful against them, especially if they know the attack is like Aerial Ace or Gust, can be extremely effective against them and can KO them one shot. Alright, now let's move on to the next type, which is water. Water types such as Squirtle, Horsea, Manaphy, they're good overall water types, but normally if I were to pick about any water type, I'm probably going to have to go with the form of Krabby or the Pokemon Lantern, who is half water, half electric, just because it has no weakness at all, or almost no weakness. They're really strong against fire, rock, and ground, but water types are surprisingly weak against water, grass, and of course electric and poison. So water types, they can be really good and helpful, and you pretty much need a water type or a Pokemon that can learn Surf in every game. So water types can be extremely helpful. About every game has gyms that are weak against water types, so they're overall good Pokemon. Next is grass types, such as Sunflora, Cacnea, Leafeon, Bayleaf. Those basic Pokemon that everybody's heard of, like Bulbasaur. They're really strong against water, ground, and rock type Pokemon. And they can be pretty strong against ice types, just depends on the ice type. If you are going up against ice types such as like Regice or Glaceon, it can be extremely effective to moves like Razor Leaf or Magical Leaf, and even Petal Dance. What they're really weak against is fire, poison, flying, bug, and steel. So, like I said before with the fire types are really strong against steel and bug. So a Pokemon like Scizor isn't really all that good of a Pokemon. It just has so many weaknesses. Grass can hurt it, fire can hurt it, electric can hurt it. Scizor, yes, it's a cool Pokemon, but not a great Pokemon to use in battle. Overall, grass types are pretty good. Now, electric types. We all know Pikachu, of course. Jolteon, and my favorite, but they are really, really weak against ground and rock, just like incredibly weak. That's like the only way I defeated Red and Heart Gold and Soul Silver was teaching my Lugia Earthquake, and is finally able to one-shot it, which is helpful. They're really strong against water and flying types. They're pretty strong against bug and steel as well, like I said earlier. Next is ice types, such as Regice, Avalon, Glaceon, Glalie. Those Pokemon are all ice types, even though they may seem like they're also a different type. Most people get confused, like Walrein, they think he's just an ice type, but he's ice and water. Truthfully, Glaceon isn't my favorite ice type. I'm gonna have to say Regice. I just love Regice form. He's just really powerful. Ice types, they're extremely strong, just like outpowering dragon types, just boom, dead, one ice beam. But they can be extremely weak against fire, steel, and rock. So if you have an ice type, you should probably have other Pokemon on your team to fight back against other Pokemon. Next is fighting types, such as Machamp, Hariyama, and many other Pokemon. Most people get Lucario confused with just a plain fighting type, but Lucario is fighting and steel. That is why he is not affected by any poison type moves, because steel types aren't affected by poison. Fighting types are strong against normal, ice, and dark. They're really weak against poison, flying, psychic, and fairy. So in other words, for Lucario, that's why he's so overpowered now, especially with his new Mega Evolution. But psychics can take him out one shot. Fairy types are really powerful against them. So yeah, next is Psychic. Psychics do not have a main weakness. They are weak against other Psychic types. Example of a Psychic type would be Alakazam. Can't really think of many more. Yeah, I can't think of many more. Meloetta, I guess. But they're really strong, like I just said, against fighting types and other psychic types, and I think that's about it. I think that's the only weaknesses and strength that psychic types have. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm going to have another episode about the rest of the types later on coming up, so I hope you'd enjoy it. Thanks, bye.